Here comes a new challenger!
Hello everyone, and welcome to my Fighter Pass 2 update. In this video, we're just going to be going over my thoughts since Steve had just released, so let's just talk about it. So, when it comes to my Fighter Pass 2, I said in the previous video that I want to clarify something in this video. In that video, I said, Minecraft isn't the mascot of Microsoft, honestly. Let's be real here. We all know this. Don't lie to yourself. Chief has and always will be the poster boy for Microsoft. Now, even though I said that, what I meant was that even if Steve were to come to Smash before Master Chief, it wouldn't be for the reason of him being the mascot of Xbox or Microsoft. And I'm still right on that. Sure, Steve got in before Chief, but I never said Steve never had a chance. I solely just said that if they were going to have a character to represent the Xbox, it would have been Master Chief and not Steve. When you think of Steve, you think of Minecraft. You don't think of Xbox. You may think of the fact that Xbox, or rather Microsoft, owns Mojang and thus owns the IP, but otherwise, you're not going to be thinking, oh man, Xbox with Minecraft? No, you're not going to be thinking that, of course not. It makes no sense. Why would you? When you think of Xbox, the only character that will truly come to mind is Master Chief, which is why I still feel he has a shot. But let's get into that. So, with Steve being added, that means there are 4 slots, and since Steve wasn't in my previous Fire Pass video, that means I'd have to get rid of one of the characters. However, I've decided to get rid of 2 of them. Why? Well, let's talk about it. Soul Bad Guy and Isaac. With Soul Bad Guy, well, let me put it this way. I like having reasons for why I say or do the things that I do. I don't like having illogical arguments without any real sense of direction, I guess you could say. Soul Bad Guy was merely just a feeling. He was never, in my opinion, likely. It just felt that, well, Arc System got some spirits. I guess Soul Bad Guy has a chance, right? And besides Heihachi's out of the running, surely we'll get a fighting game character. But of course, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And so, the longer I thought about it, the more I just said to myself, man, Soul Bad Guy really is just a character I put on there for the sake of putting on there, instead of having any actual reasons. I mean, I did have a few, but none of them were really substantial, in my opinion at least. Now, when it comes to Isaac, I've also came to rethink. Now, unlike Soul, I do genuinely believe Isaac has a chance to make it into Smash. It seems that he's getting new games. And to me, that kind of said to me, well, if they're remaking all 3 games, which is pretty big, because trust me, those games aren't that short. You know, they're not short, they're RPGs, they're long. To remake all 3 from Golden Sun to Dark Dawn, that's a lot. And with the potential of a 4th game as well, yeah, no, to me that kind of said something to me. It kind of felt as though if this does happen, then Isaac would surely get a slot on the roster, right? Well, the more I thought about it, the more I said to myself, well, maybe, just maybe, you know, even if he does get new games, that doesn't necessarily mean he has to be in Smash. That's how I thought of it. And while I regrettably want to remove him, and I will, I do still think he has a shot. If he does make it into this Fighter's Pass, I would not be surprised. Well, I'd be very happy. He is my number 1 after all, which is probably another reason as to why I had him on my original Fighter Pass video. With that being said, that means that 3 out of those 5 characters are staying, right? Of course. Those 3 being Geno, Master Chief, and Crash. Let's talk about Geno first. Geno, I've already talked about several times on various videos. So if you want to see those videos, I'll link them in the description below. However, when it comes down to it, the short answer is, I just think Geno's happening. It kind of feels like we're being led to this point. And if not Geno, a Square rep entirely. To enforce this idea of us getting another Square rep, I would like to point to every time we got a Square character, which was only 2 times to be fair. But when it came to Cloud, every other costume pack, in Smash 4 anyways, there was a bunch of costumes. Either original costumes or costumes of various franchises. Yet when Cloud came out, it was different. We only had Chocobo and Geno. that was it. Even Corrin and Bayonetta, the last two characters released for Smash 4, had a bunch of costumes alongside them. So it is kind of weird that Cloud would only come with 2. And then fast forward, and now we see Hero from Dragon Quest. And all the Hero from Dragon Quest has is 4 costumes, and all 4 of them come from Dragon Quest. Though it is kind of strange, isn't it? Why not bring back the older costumes, being Geno and Chocobo? After all, they are Square reps, so it only makes sense to bring those 2 back with Hero, would it not? This leads me to believe that we will be getting another Square rep. Regardless if it's Geno or not, I think we're getting another Square rep as DLC. Moving on to Master Chief and Crash. Like I said, if you would like to know my reasons originally, they're in the first video. But I want to add to it. I want to give you guys a reason as to why I think these 2 characters are happening. So hear me out, alright? Back in Smash 4, one of the biggest things that game advertised was that Sonic, Mario, Pac-Man, and Mega Man were all in the same game together. As a matter of fact, Pac-Man's trailer was literally called Red, Blue, Yellow to signify this. They showed Mario, then Mega Man and Sonic, and then finally Pac-Man. It was a dream come true to have these 4 gaming giants all together in the same game. Of course, if you look at Smash now, well, it's gotten much bigger, but back then it was huge, right? I mean, to have these 4 characters together, it was insane, honestly. But I thought about it in a different way. So hear me out on this, alright? So far, we have Mario and Sonic. These 2 characters have been rivals in the past, not just in terms of character rivalries, but console rivalries too. Sonic representing Sega and Mario representing Nintendo. And the console wars were a big part of gaming. And so to have Sonic and Mario in the same game is pretty major, is it not? I mean, I think it still is. Even if Sonic hasn't had the same popularity of many years ago, what he represents is truly great. The same can really be said about Crash. Crash, up until the remakes, kinda lost his luster, but what he represented, that PS1 era, that era of Sony versus Nintendo. I mean, Sony used them for commercials. I mean, everyone knows about the commercial where the guy's in the suit yelling at the Nintendo building. So, it only makes sense, right? Crash is now owned by Activision, so by having Crash, it's like having one of Nintendo's rivals in Smash. It's the same thing with Sonic. So, to me, that is really impactful. And to have Chief alongside him, well, think about it. Chief, Crash, and Sonic, all 3 representing 3 different companies who are all at one point rivals to Nintendo, to Mario. To have Mario, Nintendo, Sonic, Sega, Crash, Sony, Chief, Microsoft. Even though Crash doesn't represent Sony anymore, what it meant, what it means to have those 4 characters in the same game, what that represents is much bigger than what they might represent now, right? I mean, Sonic's not really a rival to Mario anymore, neither is Crash, and Microsoft and Nintendo have been really buddy-buddy. But, like I said, what it represents, even if it doesn't mean that now, is still a major deal. So I think, to me anyways, it's important that we have those characters. And it's not like they're hard to get, too. Microsoft has already been working with Nintendo to get both Banjo and Steve in Smash. Well, with Steve it's kind of weird, but let's not talk about that. That's a whole nother discussion in itself. But to have Master Chief is pretty big. And Crash, like I said, owned by Activision, so it wouldn't be too hard to get him. I want you to paint this picture in your head. Mario, Sonic, Crash, and Chief. Wouldn't that be the most insane, most crazy thing if it were to happen? And it can happen. We have the opportunity to have it happen. And I think that's why these 2 characters are joining Smash. I don't think they're gonna miss this opportunity. Nope, I don't think they are. So with that being said, that only leaves 1 slot. After all, I got rid of Soul and Isaac, so who do I think is going to be our fourth fighter? Well, I think it's gonna be Ryu Hayabusa. Let me explain. When it comes down to it, we all knew about, well, the rumors of Minecraft content prior to even the game releasing. It seems that at some point Minecraft was supposed to be in between Smash 4 and Ultimate. We don't know the full details, but it does seem like Steve was planned long before he made it in as a DLC fighter. So to me, that kind of says, well, there were rumors of Koei Tecmo by the same people who did those rumors of Minecraft content in Smash, one of which being the obvious Virgin. Ryu Hayabusa was also heavily leaked out by a bunch of credible people during late 2019. So to me, it kind of makes sense, don't you think? Characters can be leaked and far in advance, but they might not come out for a long time. So thinking about it that way, it actually makes a lot of sense. And so, in all fairness, if I had that doubt in Steve, because that's the reason why I didn't want to put Steve in my previous video, it's because I just thought the Minecraft stuff was just not going to happen, and if it did, it would have been in the form of a Mii costume or something. But no, they went the full 9 yards. And so to me, it would be weird to not have Ryu Hayabusa. After all, Koei Tecmo and Nintendo have a great business relationship. It just seems like if Ryu Hayabusa doesn't happen, I'd be shocked. And for those wondering why Ryu instead of other characters like Kasumi as an example, Ryu Hayabusa is essentially Koei Tecmo's biggest character. Ryu Hayabusa has been in every Dead or Alive game as a main protagonist. I mean, he has his own franchise, Ninja Gaiden, and he's appeared in most Dynasty Warriors games. I mean, even the series Ninja Gaiden has respect from Microsoft. As well, in Dead or Alive, Master Chief has appeared in one of the games, and in one of the Halo games, there's a armor inspired by Ryu Hayabusa's armor. It's even called the Hayabusa armor. That basically means Ninja Gaiden ain't no joke. And it really hasn't been. The only franchise Koei Tecmo has that's kind of a joke is the Dead or Alive series, but that's again, another discussion for another time. With that all being said, it would obviously have to be Ryu. It can't be anyone else. Ryu just makes too much sense to be the fighter. And, well, to be fair, I gotta admit, I also have a bit of bias for Ryu. Ryu's my second most wanted. For Smash, I want Ryu, but I also have reasons now to actively believe in him other than just where it was Isaac, it was just if Isaac gets new games, then he's in Smash. With this, it's like Nintendo and Koei Tecmo had talks, so if they don't lead anywhere, that would be very shocking. That or a Fighter Pass 3 could happen, but I'd rather not talk about that. We'll talk about Fighter Pass 3 and the potential of that at another time. With that all being said, thank you so much for watching. Please take care of yourself, and as always, have a great rest of your wonderful day. Peace. You